In warfare, the most dangerous weapon is not the one you can see. It's the one that makes you believe you are winning. USS Laboon, a 9,000-ton Arleigh Burke destroyer, was burning. Or at least, that's what the entire region was meant to believe. Commander Rachel Holt had ordered a complete shutdown of primary radars, propulsion systems, and IFF transponders. From every sensor in the eastern Mediterranean, her ship looked dead. It wasn't. It was the bait. For 6 weeks, U.S. intelligence had been tracking an Iranian Soyuz-class cargo vessel smuggling advanced missile guidance systems into Syria. A direct strike was politically impossible. Russian forces sat just 40 nautical miles away at Tartus Naval Base. So the Pentagon built something more dangerous than a missile. They built a lie. From Tartus, Colonel Dmitry Volkov of Russian Naval Intelligence took the bait immediately. He activated long-range surveillance cameras, watching the burning American ship, fully intending to record the humiliation and steal whatever intelligence signals the Americans would broadcast in their distress. Moscow believed they were the silent winners tonight. They were already inside the trap. Below the surface, Captain Reza Shirazi of the Iranian Kilo-class submarine Noshar felt completely invisible. And he had good reason. The Kilo-class, known in NATO files as the Black Hole, is arguably the quietest diesel-electric submarine ever built. Sitting deep within the Mediterranean thermocline, a thermal layer that bends sonar waves like a hall of mirrors, the Noshar was, by every conventional measure, undetectable. Captain Shirazi had no idea that 12 nautical miles behind him, Commander David Reyes aboard USS Virginia, a Block 4 nuclear attack submarine, had been tracking his every breath for the past 4 hours. A routine pump adjustment, lasting less than 1 second, had produced a 30-decibel hydraulic signature, invisible to conventional sensors. But Virginia's towed a ray sonar, trailing thousands of feet behind the submarine's own propeller noise, had caught it like a fingerprint on glass. The black hole was fully illuminated. It just didn't know it yet. Reyes had a perfect firing solution. He chose not to fire. Instead, he launched a single acoustic decoy, programmed to mimic 3 destroyer propellers charging at flank speed. On Shirazi's sonar screens, the ocean exploded. To him, he was being boxed in by a full anti-submarine warfare task force. Captain Shirazi made the only decision fear allowed him to make. He ran. The black hole fled, leaving its cargo ship completely alone on the surface. Above the fog, the EA-18G Growler moved silently into position. Its jamming pods fired, a focused electromagnetic pulse that surgically blinded every radar and navigation system on the Iranian cargo ship. In that window of perfect electronic darkness, the drones came, smaller than a sparrow, painted radar-absorbent black. Each one magnetically gripped the steel walls of the high-value weapons containers and went completely silent, dormant, invisible. The Trojan horse was inside the walls, but the crew was already calming down. In another hour, they might inspect the deck, might find the devices. The Growler's electronic warfare officer, Lieutenant Amy Cross, received a single-word order from the carrier strike group: disorient. What she did next had never been used in a live operation before. Using falsified astronomical data injected directly into the ship's GPS transceiver, Cross began rotating the Iranian vessel's digital compass. So slowly, so precisely. The onboard autopilot compensated without alarm. The crew read their charts and believed they were sailing northeast towards safe harbor at Tartus. They were sailing directly south into Israeli territorial waters. Israel fired no warning. 2 Gabriel, 5 missiles detonated off the starboard bow. Massive columns of seawater crashed over the bridge. The ship shook like a tin can in an earthquake. No Iranian crew member stepped onto that deck again. And in Tartus, Colonel Volkov's surveillance screens suddenly showed something that made his blood freeze. The same GPS signal manipulation that had turned the Iranian ship had briefly, accidentally bled into Russian satellite monitoring frequencies. For 11 seconds, Volkov's own navigation systems had shown falsified positioning data. Moscow immediately shut down all surveillance systems, terrified they themselves had been penetrated. The silent observer had just become the silent victim. At dawn, Commander Holt brought the Laboon back to life. Engines roared. Radars swept. The burning ghost ship was gone. The Iranian vessel was allowed to sail freely into port because that was the plan all along. Every truck that loaded those containers, every road it traveled, every tunnel it entered, every underground bunker it disappeared into, was feeding real-time GPS coordinates directly into the targeting computers of Tomahawk crews, missiles already loaded in vertical launch cells on 3 U.S. submarines. The U.S. didn't need to fire a single shot to map the entire Iranian underground weapons network. They just needed patience. The dots are still moving. The missiles are still waiting. The only question left is who gives the order first and when.